What's up, sneaker fans? Thanks for tuning in to a More Than Hype review. And today we're going to be taking a look at a new silhouette. This is the first signature from Ishod Wair for Nike SB. So let's get right into the review, starting with the packaging. As you can see, we are in the purple and striped Nike SB box era. So that means any recent releases will have come in this or a striped box. But something interesting they do here, Nike SB on this side, but the box actually flips open from this side. I guess so that to almost preserve the Nike check here. But like I said, purple with these white accents all over the box. You have licensing and logos and more licensing and our label on this side here. So taking a closer look at the label, official name of these is Nike SB Ishod. Official colors are light olive, black, and light olive. Style code for these is DC7232300. Far as sizing goes, I went with my true size here in Nikes, which is an 8.5. So that's what I wear in Air Maxes, Dunk Lows, Air Jordan 1s. I got an 8.5 here, and I like the fit. I'll say they are tight around the toes, but that's to be expected with a skateboarding shoe. It's the same for SB Dunk Lows. I'd say the fit is very similar to SB Dunk Lows. Far as size conversion goes for women's, it's 1.5 sizes up in Nike, so this 8.5 in men's would be a size 10 in women's. These retailed for $100, so not a cheap shoe. So, you know, $100, it's a brand new silhouette. That's okay. But with all that said, let's take a look at the shoes now on the inside. So we open up the box and we have our wood grain pattern on our paper in this almost turquoise color. But then here are the shoes. And I think the thing that really sort of got me to get these is the colorway first and foremost. I really like what they did here. Let's get both pairs out and take a closer look. Alright, so now let's take a closer look at these, starting with the upper. And the material, specifically this suede material here. So your first three eyelets are made of this suede material. Your full toe box also in this olive color suede material. And the materials here are much nicer than I expected them to be. We have perforations here as well as a red Nike swoosh embroidery. One thing Ishod has said before in his interviews is that he likes skating in dunks. And I don't know if you can see it, but we can almost see the embroidery shape of what looks like maybe the Air Jordan 1 or the Dunk toe box. So just that sort of outline here, to me, it gives me Dunk or Air Jordan 1 toe box vibes, especially with the perforations here. And I'm not sure, there's no source that can actually confirm it except for Ishod and Nike, but they haven't yet. But I'd say that looks pretty darn close to those two silhouettes. On the medial side, more of that suede material. The quarter panel is this piece of mesh with this wavy rubbery material here. As you can see here, it is basically see-through here, so incredibly breathable. Moving on to the heel here, more of that suede material. We have our reverse swoosh on both sides actually, so we got some pretty sweet symmetry there. Ishod on the Ishod here on the heel loop here. Nike SB on the external sort of heel counter. And yeah, these come stock with flat black laces, nothing on the aglets, and the lacing system here is also really interesting. You can see these red pieces here. They're actually another piece on the inside of the shoe that actually moves. It's not stitched into any part of the shoe. So if you lace, depending on how much you lace at this level, you'll have these two pieces here really locking your foot down in these. One thing that's very important for skateboarding is that your foot isn't moving around too much in the shoe. And with this narrower toe box, I don't want to say narrow, as well as this lacing system, that should not be a problem. Lockdown is definitely accounted for here. And that is also aided by the fatter tongue. So not as fat as like a Dunk SB low, but a generous amount of padding in this tongue. Ishod embroidery on this side, and you can't really tell in pictures, but you have a very low-key swoosh embroidery here as well. The heel collar is in this mesh material. The inside is in fabric as well, so black and red. The underside of the tongue also in black. And that brings us to the insole, or should I say the drop-in midsole. So this is another thing that I did not expect. I just assumed that this would have some variation of Zoom Air in the insole, but actually what we got here is a drop-in React midsole. So if I can get this out, you can see we have our drop-in midsole here. So I have seen this before in like the React Air Force Ones. Definitely a bigger wedge, but here it's a little bit more low profile, so you do get a lot of board feel still, or you still have board feel because this forefoot area is thin, and then a not so thick but still relatively squishy heel portion of the insole. Now this isn't the type of cushioning that your feet sort of sink into. It's still fairly stiff, or they call it responsive. If it's just a shoe you're looking for to walk around, I would not say these are for that. These are definitely geared towards skateboarders. And that brings us to the midsole and outsole, and just another portion of the shoe that's really geared towards skateboarding. So in pictures, I thought this olive colored piece was hyperfused, especially because we can see the sort of wavy or those ripples from this mesh material in the quarter panel. But actually, this is either a really thick piece of hyperfuse or just a piece of rubber here, because this is all rubberized and extremely grippy and sticky. This piece, as well as all of this black piece for the midsole, is extremely grippy, like very, very grippy, which obviously is going to come in handy if you're doing tricks or, you're ollieing or any of that stuff. And that really grippy material is found all throughout the shoe here. Very nice indeed. And then that continues with a rubber outsole in this medium gum color and this rebel pattern again. You have sort of this pattern converge here into somewhat of a pivot point right there, and we have our Nike swoosh on the heel here. So overall, for his first signature shoe, I think he did a really good job on the design here. I really like how these look. These released in 4 different colorways, this olive, a red, as well as a black and white colorway. Out of the 4, this is the one I definitely like the most. A really great start to a new signature line. I'll be looking forward to seeing more colorways of these releasing. But that's all I have to say about these. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more sneaker content, and I'll catch you on the next video.